else. So Map 3 and 4, I'm so glad that we at least get to see both of those. But can our hearts take a Map 5 on Clubhouse? Whew! I think we'll have no choice.
It's certainly stacking up to be going in that direction. I'm looking forward to seeing the rogue hold of Tea and Karaoke here on Skyscraper. They do a fantastic job of it. Montagna going to be the first band taken out.
Can we do this with them, Tim? Can we do this with everyone?
We can if you like.
Can we do it now? Ready?
Ooh. There we go.
Love it. We won't do every single one, but
no. Montagna and Thatcher will be the first two bands coming out.
Just kidding.
Oh, we're getting waving along with it as well. There is absolutely no control in you, is there?
Greatness comes from chaos, Tim.
Kaid will be our... I'm giving up.
Love it.
I'm giving up.
Cannot be controlled, Tim. I'm so sorry.
Thank you, everybody, for joining in with his care.
Don't encourage him. Hey, I joined them. They were already doing it.
Here we go then. Round number 1, Skyscraper. It is 1 map all between Rogue and FaZe. This one is poised for potentially going to all 5 maps of our best of 5 here. There's a lot of support coming in for Rogue still. That has not dampened down, no matter losing, drawing, winning. It doesn't matter. They have been all over it for every minute here in the venue.
I'll say something probably wildly unpopular with the venue, Tim, but fair play to FaZe as well. You're staring down the barrel of 1,500 fans all supporting the other team. You know that they are not so much booing, but no one's celebrating anything that you do in these rounds. They're looking on it with scorn, with disdain, and every action Rogue take is getting a big cheer. So to be sitting in front of an audience like this and still be playing as well as they are takes a lot of effort. Let's see how things go then with this first Karaoke and Tea defense. We've seen this an awful lot throughout EUL2. It's been quite a popular map across that and APAC North, often starting out with an exhibition hole that then moves their way across the field.
It would be remiss of us to continue without mentioning the final ban that
doing the
came
whole
in. You were far too carried away for us to pick up on the Arune being banned out, which is an unusual
ban. And you were too
ban.
distracted.
Far too much. It means that we will have no laser gates here in Skyscraper, but, you know, the Arune can be not just about the utility that can be burnt, it's time, it's, you know, everything that needs to go with it to deal with that gadget.
A cheeky little rat hole from Spoit here is looking to try and get a bit cheeky, I think, out through the rotation that it opened up onto that outside wall. But you don't want to leave that one open. That's a very contested wall that attackers will always want to open up. It's exactly why it's having a bandit battery placed down on it, just to frustrate the attackers that bit more who don't have the Thatcher on side, given it was banned away by FaZe. So good bit adaptation coming out of Rogue here to force that to come through. But I can't help but not ignore the Sens pick coming out for FaZe, Tim. We saw this back in map 1. They used it excellently. Cryin just taking a couple of shots of damage there. Doesn't do too much, as I think it was through a soft surface, so it just reduced the impact a little bit of those bullets. So he's fine to continue here. He's pretty confident that he's going to be looking at somebody coming in from the bathroom side, but it's actually Cyber that could be the problem. He's underneath on just the opposite side of the restaurant area. He's off to Cryi's right rather than left, and he could find himself coming head-to-head with that LMG if he's not careful. Cryin loves playing on the downstairs as well on this map. We've seen him on things like Goyo historically playing C4s upwards. On the attack, he'll always try and get in below and toss nades skyward. So I'm not at all surprised to see him, even not on that kind of operator, looking to play on the downstairs. Cyber chunked out an absolute ton here, as both Kanto and Cryin are looking to threaten him. He's got to be so careful of what angles he's playing. I love how Cryin was completely unflappable then as he moved through the bar. There's shots coming in through the door. He didn't even look. He just carried on going. He's like, yeah, that's not a problem. As he continues on his hunt for Cyber, Kanto join him as well. It's a nice crossfire that they've got established here. If anybody does try to push towards Drum Stairs, they're going to be in trouble. But right now, FaZe are trying to start to work the balconies here. Cryin knows he's going to take more damage. How long can he hold on here? He's already burnt 2 minutes. This is the thing on the downstairs. Maybe they're trying to find a way to ignore it, because they definitely aren't going to be able to clear it out at this point. There's 2 players on the downstairs too. Big ET, D-Peck himself, starts out the same way he ended the last map, with a kill. Exactly, starting as he means to go on. Cryin just going to allow the clone to go past him. I don't think they've picked up on his position there, and they're going to look to get themselves onto the rappel. Time is ticking down, and FaZe have no choice but to start pushing towards site, and I can't help but think that they haven't made an awful lot of progress yet, Des. Cameraman, he's going to put down the light barrier from the Sens, just trying to work his way in. Gon6 as well, clearing utility, but with 19 seconds left to go, it's now or never for FaZe. They're going to have to start making a move. Kills rain in, Spoit
Deepek onto Bullet and cameraman. Cyber manages to get one, but with 8 seconds left to go, this is looking unlikely. The last is inside Karaoke. Astro has diffuser in hand. Is he going to try and stick up on? He has no other option here. They were waiting. They've come back to site, and they're going to win the round. Kraken and Kanto close out round 1 for Rogue.
Again, just Deepek can't help himself, can he, Tim? 3 kills in round 1. Getting things started the way that Rogue will no doubt want it to continue. Great stall coming out at the end as well. FaZe bring along the Sens with that light wall gadget to give them a wonderful angle down through main corridor where they can't be contested easily. But then Leon just stops everything in its tracks with a couple of smoke canisters, and they can proceed no further. Because FaZe ground to a halt, Rogue have a bit of time to get themselves into good positions, hold those angles, and wait for the push to come through. A great flurry of kills there in the last 15 seconds or so. Rogue now move over to the other side of the map, still on the top floor for Exhibition and Office, which plays much in reverse. You should see these defenders here moving out towards playing on the west side of things, out towards Karaoke and T, and then slowly move their way back across towards the east as FaZe come after them.
I'd be concerned if I was a FaZe supporter after that first round. This is a map that they are supposed to be, you know, very good on, but they just had no answers then, Des. FaZe really did stall out. As we saw, it came down to just trying to jump in through windows with 20 seconds left to go. They never got any control. There was never any real pressure onto site. And Rogue, I would say, were extremely comfortable throughout round 1. And they're going to have to be bringing more to the table if they want to be picking up attacking rounds.
Okay, let's see how things shape up from this point forwards. We're still seeing that Warner coming along, and look at the jump out here from Deepek. They wondered for a second what it was he was considering, but was hoping someone would be coming in through the double doors off towards his right-hand side. No such joy to be found. A lot of downstairs play coming in, so rather than a full-on extension out towards Karaoke and T, there is some downstairs attention coming in from the Rogue players.
Cyber just watching the long angle there on Sabine. He sees the berry of Alibi, decides that he'll take a little shot at it, but it was only the decoy that had been placed by Leon earlier. So that's going to ping Cyber out. It's not really going to be a problem. Nobody's going to be taking on a long-range challenge like that, but he will drop away without a kill. Now then, we're going to get the double wall opened up here with the thermite exothermic going off, but again, I'm often cautious about sort of thinking of that as major progress, because so little do we see teams that really push in through there. It is step 1, and they don't tend to, you know, go back to that until towards the end of the round as attackers if they need to, because it's just too risky to play in that area.
As Leon starting out with the entry onto cameraman here as he steps forward. It is the hard breacher gone, who's already done his job in the round. But attention will turn towards the Ossa here of Astro. That is what this round really rides on. And oh my God,
no,
Leon!
you cannot!
He can on his birthday, Tim. And that Ossa that I said everything spun around, not anymore.
Bullet, he's looking towards taking a fight here, but can't get the win. Takes a lot of damage along with it. Crying, he's going to have to dip himself away, but that is largely job done because it is going to slow Bullet down, and it just means that one of those gunfights later in the round might just be all the more easy. Now then, Bullet, he's just looking for a cheeky vertical angle up through the hatch here, just seeing if he can catch any of the defenders out in behind the desk, maybe holding on to the breach, but for the time being, he's not going to have any joy. And as I said, Des, often this double wall is used as not desperation, but you're now in a 3v5. You've got to try and get something going, so we'll go back to the breach. But that is what so often happens. That's 3 for Leon.
Could make it 5 if he carries on here. An ace on your birthday in a grand final would be a dream. But he's still got souls on the downstairs. He's crying, denies Leon the chance, but definitely gives Rogue the round. Bullet, 40 HP, has still got so much to do in the last 35 seconds that it's almost impossible.
We've said that a couple of times today. Deepek in a 1v4. Let's not forget that he was able to close out. But, as you say, this as the time ticks by, looks even more difficult. Bullet manages to find the first headshot onto Spoit. 1v4 now, 20 seconds left to go. And he's just not overly chasing this. You feel there's maybe a bit of discussion going on within FaZe as a team as well. Just taking the opportunity until ultimately Bullet is cut down by Kanto. And that is going to be Rogue taking round number 2. And it leaves them 2-0.
First couple of rounds not going their way, and you can see a lot of passion as well. I'm looking up now at the FaZe players, and you can see hands moving, gestures. Chops are definitely moving, Tim. They're having a good conversation here about what needs to be course corrected, because Rogue in those first 2 rounds have looked so comfortable. The only downside now is that they've got to head to the off-site that many would consider barbecue and kitchen. But you can play this site very similarly to how you play Karaoke and T. A big vertical hold. you just want to make sure you've got a couple holding around Pantry and in towards Sushi, because those two areas are the sort of center points for this site. You can't go letting defenders just hop straight in once you get a bit of control of Geisha, for example. Attackers hop in once to get a bit of control of Geisha, sorry. But that should be the direct-to-site approach that FaZe want. Get control of Geisha, play around window, get control of Pantry, and look for a plant inside a kitchen. You haven't even got to worry about barbecue if you don't want to.
No, not really, but my concern for FaZe on the attack here, Des, is this is kind of tea and karaoke with an extra step. And they didn't get anywhere near tea and karaoke. So they've got all that work to do to get hold of Geisha, get hold of top floor, but then they've got more work to do to get onto site and get a diffuser down. And FaZe were just a little bit slow last time. Look at this from Crying. This is absolutely disgusting. He might just get his man here. The Finker's coming around. It's a freebie. It's Leon taking down Cyber.
Free.
It was. Crying was on the top floor challenge. Leon went from underneath, I think. They doubled down on it.
I guess if he gets one of you, the other is guaranteed to get the trade, and they probably know that from a bit of study as well, from watching back the way FaZe play this map. To find the Finker, the operator I keep on talking about, the LMG, the Gon 6, the nades, the 3 juices as well. All that together in combat makes for a terrifying operator. You take that offline, damage stays permanent onto those attackers. They can't heal their way back through it.
This is dangerous. Deepek's been spotted out. The challenge is likely to come in, and it's going to be a pre-fire, I would imagine, from the window, but he's just watching the angle. Instead, they're going to switch over to the nade, but dip it away as Cameraman manages to get the kill anyway. But there comes the challenge. Spoit, he's getting aggressive. Rogue are getting confident here, Des. Rogue are looking dangerous.
Astro's still on the window here as well, very much in isolation. Has to repel his way through. No one there ready to go for the challenge, but they should have the idea that he's now marching on in. He's looking for the man sat around gold, and I'm not sure he's going to find him for free. Bullet getting into a gunfight here with Leon, both down to 40 HP.
Spoit's just going to be biding his time in the corner of gold there. He's got support from Kanto as well, and this could be a big play from him. He could really hit them on the flank. 3 versus 4 FaZe without the map control that they need to be able to put the diffuser down. They're trying to start to work vertically, but they could find themselves challenged pretty soon as Crying, he's working his way back in that direction as well. Souls, he is in control of Geisha, finds the Valkyrie cam and takes it down, so that's at least something for FaZe. 3v3 as Bullet manages to find a nade onto Spoit.
It's always that worry. We keep on speaking about these 4v2s that get thrown away to being, well, the entry, sorry, that come in for Rogue that then get turned on their head and end up as a 4v2 for FaZe. They took down a couple of members. They were in this 4 versus 3, but FaZe are just playing it so carefully here, just one step at a time, looking to pick off the stragglers from this Rogue side, and that's why you can see them playing so tightly together. Leon playing downstairs, seen out by a drone with a couple playing above him, up towards Shrine and down towards Drum. And it feels like FaZe are trying to chase ghosts at this point, Tim. There's still so much to do, and they've only just got the top floor control.
Only 4 drones remaining, so it does limit them a little bit in terms of information. Bullet just trying to work in secretly for a horizontal push here. Kanto gets Souls on the top floor, and that is going to be a big blow to FaZe. Astro with the trade, but Leon absolutely shutting down the knock, saying knock today, thank you, Astro. He's looking to get himself inside of sight now. He's not really much of a choice here with 20 seconds left to go. He's gone for the route 1 option, directing, get the diffuser down, but the challenge is going to come. Crying knows where he is. Surely there. Yeah. Nice and easy for Crying and Rogue. That is a full defensive sweep, 3-0, and they can just roll back through those sites again.
I spoke to some of Rogue's back
FaZe into overtime, but just couldn't get it done at the end. But you just felt through a lot of that map that it was FaZe that were in control, and then Rogue battled back fantastically well on Villa, and now we're absolutely dominating here. And you just feel if they get 2-1 and they've got that series map opportunity, I'm pretty sure they're going to take it, Des.
It comes on to banking map 4 and Rogue are up 2-1. Quite fancy their odds, but I can't discount how good FaZe are on that map as well. I said it earlier on once we came back from the break, or even maybe before, maybe even during, I can't remember at this point, it's all blurred into one. The Clubhouse would be the ultimate battleground to decide who wins this. But I don't think anyone's heart can take it if we get to that level.
It's not going to be easy, that much is for sure, but there's a way to go yet, and if Rogue have anything to say about it, we're not going to be getting there. They're 3-0 up on Skyscraper. We've just had a tactical timeout from FaZe. They're going to come in on the attack again. This time it's going to be the attack back onto Tea Room and Karaoke. We've got the presence all around the map once again from Rogue. It's something that worked for them fantastically well last time. So the big question for me this round is how do FaZe deal with those roamers, and how successful are they in doing so?
I seen that IQ pick coming out from FaZe, and I know that we've seen Rogue running Valkyrie in the first half of this map, but almost feels they didn't know that the Valkyrie's there, and they'd rather just be safe. Playing a little bit scared, arguably, here, fearful of the damage that Valkyrie can do for the defenders if it's left unchecked. It's almost like the reverse of what we see from defenders these days, where you bring the Warden just to dissuade the attackers from bringing along things like the Ying.
I like this from FaZe at the minute. They're not really playing too heavily into the ground floor, which is where they had the problems last time. Souls is looking to potentially stop any rotates up the office stairs, and by doing that, it means that the others coming in through the breach, Bullet and Cameraman was with him, can be confident they're not going to get hit on the flank. They can start sweeping across, but this is playing into a textbook Rogue hold of holding on to Drum and holding on to Dragon.
Yeah, both Shrine and Drum being held down here by Rogue. 2 or 3 players looking to challenge that angle. You can kind of, not so much subvert the hold, but you can put it under pressure by opening up Geisha first, whether it's the wall or the window. Either way, you give yourself an angle to be able to challenge, because the player that's sat inside of Geisha is the one that's giving you the support you need on Drum. You lose that control, they can open up the soft wall and just hold the doorway angle straight the way through, and you're then stuck inside a Drum being pinched in from 2 different sides. So FaZe, they've got to make a decision either way you look at it. We're down to that last 60 seconds, and they've only just got started inside of Geisha.
Geisha wall does get opened up, which is something for FaZe at least. We're just going to see Rogue not vacating completely, but certainly backing away from the challenge inside of Geisha. As they moved in last time, they found themselves challenged from Drum, did FaZe, so they just need to be cautious that that's not going to be the case again. Deepek looking to get aggressive potentially onto the breach, doesn't get any joy. Cameraman managing to open things up with a kill onto Cryan. Now this is a real commitment from Kanto to the jump out. Doesn't manage to find anybody. Leon does, however, and that was all that was needed. It took the attention of Cameraman and leaves them now 4v4.
And clears that attention away from the north side. So everything now is Geisha for the attackers. Rogue know where they're coming from. They can just hold the windows, they can hold it down with smokes, they can stop them from moving through. And this is where FaZe, I fear, have already kind of painted themselves into a corner. It's great adaptation by Rogue to identify the lurk coming in, abandon Drum, and turn all their attention towards site itself. But FaZe have stormed in. 3 players step forward before Spoit finds the cross back. They've managed to find a second as well. And with the control established, they can look in for a plant. They've got Deepek set up on the cross here as well, but plant is down. Cyber's sticking it out, but can they find the second? No, it's Deepek left in a 1 versus 3.
He only needs 1 bullet effectively, but it's too late as Cyber secures the plant and gets the final kill. And Rogue, FaZe finally get themselves around here on Skyscraper.
It was a good little push there as a group. I really thought they'd be stuck for a second, but Rogue almost allowing a bit too much room inside of sites itself, stepping out towards Shrine, out towards Dragon again, sort of retaking those positions, and just letting FaZe repelling towards site, pushing through the Geisha rotate, have 1 man come up black stairs as well. And Rogue seemed largely unprepared. They didn't know it was going to come from that direction that strongly, I think, and they find the 3 or 4 kills they need.
We're going to be heading into round number 5 then. I don't think Rogue are going to take that loss too hard. They've played fantastically well so far on Skyscraper. They'll be confident of taking another 1 or 2, but what I would say, I won't say that a 5-1 half is important for Rogue here, but 4-2 certainly is. They've been so dominant so far. If FaZe are able to rein them in and get them back to 3-3, that's going to be a big blow for this Rogue team, because they probably felt like they'd sort of broken out a little bit, that they were starting to get some distance between them and their opponents in FaZe.
This crowd have been incessant today.
Absolutely unbelievable noise inside.
Imagine an EU team gets to the final and an EU crowd doesn't go quiet.
Can you imagine?
Weird, that. Very weird. With how things are shaping up really for Rogue, those first 3 rounds, FaZe will look at and say, right, let's put them to one side. Didn't go how we wanted it to. They've got 2 more rounds now to play through. If Rogue can take that as a 2-1, that would be a really good sign of their strength on this map, I feel. If FaZe can bounce back and find 3 and start to get a little bit nervous. They've already found the entry. It is Kanto on the Wamai. Not too many nades in the back pockets of FaZe, mind you, so not like they've already gained too much by taking down the Wamai.
Rogue just trying to get that early advantage once again, as they did previously, but no success this time around. And they're going to have to, this time, play from the man down. They're going to be playing on Office. That is going to be the site that they are defending. And FaZe are once again going to get straight onto that breach and open it up. Beyond that, they struggled to make too much progress last time around. They need to get themselves, I think, established surrounding the defense here. They need to be coming in from T and Karaoke as well, getting themselves into Drum, into Terrace, into Dragon, and pressuring from all sides before they start working onto that reinforcement.
Cryan's trying to be the kind of flank player here for Rogue 2. Currently got himself holding off towards red stairs, whilst all the focus from the attackers goes in towards this east side. But might find himself coming head-to-head shortly with Cyber, who is on the downstairs here, but in a good spot to be able to challenge. And from down below, no nature really comes singing up. I mentioned that kind of lack of utility the attackers had. Only a couple of nades, and both have now been expended.
Could see Spike there thinking about the opportunity to get the Nitro out of pocket as the Rotero came in, but the Flores is hidden safely around the corner. He's going to be moved once again. Leon manages to get a kill onto Cyber, as he has done so often, able to get a kill at just the perfect time for Rogue. And a second, Leon continues to step up for the EU side.
Tell you what, this interview could be something special. A C4 comes over, but it's a double run out! Deepek gets 2. Cameraman and Astro fall by the wayside, and Souls, all that remains. Arguably the soul being taken out of this team, with 3 Rogue players still staring him down. 45 seconds to play, but the damage has been done.
I think we might be really finding out at the minute who is the best team in the world on this map. Rogue absolutely dominant so far. The challenge continues onto Reception Breach as Leon is looking for that final kill. He's just wanting to boost those numbers up as much as he can. He's played fantastically well so far, but it's Deepek who is his partner in crime who finds that final kill.
And a 3K in the round for Deepek too. Another big one. I've got to really acknowledge the cute bit of team play that we saw from Rogue as well.
It was beautiful. I know exactly what you're going to say, and it involves a Nitro in the breach.
Not quite, no, not for me there, but that was also beautiful as well.
Beautiful as Deepek times the run out.
They did the same, and this is going to sound weird, but using an attacker's drone. Because what happened was, Cryan got droned out around bar area, yet he kept on pushing up, down past reception desk, as if he was going to challenge in towards house. At the same time, he was spotted on the drone, and he knew the drone had hit him because it was in front of him. That was when Leon swung down from the house stairs, and they took this 2 versus 1, where the FaZe player, bless his soul, who was sat inside a house, had no idea what was about to hit him. So it's small bits of cute team play like that are really rewarding Rogue right now. And FaZe are feeling a little bit torn in all direction, being pulled limb from limb.
Deepek just getting that final kill there. Seriously long range as he cuts down Souls and gives Rogue a big advantage. 4-1 on the half, and they could well finish this 5-1. They're not going to go back to tea and karaoke after losing it in round 4. Instead, they're going to head down to the ground floor. It's going to be kitchen and barbecue, which they were successful in defending back in round 3. FaZe, the time is now for me, Des. They have to start turning this around as soon as possible, because this is running away from them.
One thing I'll always say, Tim, and I say it every single game, you just wait until that second half. We've seen teams be down 6-0 in the first half and still come back to an 8-6 win, or turn a 5-1 around to a 7-5. It can happen, and I like to think that Rogue's attacks are going to be lightning quick on this map as well, but you just don't know what to expect.
Now then, where is Cryan sneaking off to? We hear the Gon 6 come out there from Cyber. I think he was just clearing out a barricade potentially, maybe to let a drone in, maybe a bit of utility. But Cryan was just working his way down those stairs. He's actually got himself back up to the top and into Dragon. So his defense of the top floor continues, I would imagine, along with Kanto. They're being forced back a little bit from the office side, but for the time being, that's fine for them. They're just wanting to slow this push down, and as it goes, they'll go all the way back over to Karaoke and Geisha and ultimately fall back to site. But right now, not too bad from Rogue. They've wasted 1 minute 10.
You've got that same player though in Astro, I believe it is, that's playing on the rappel inside of Karaoke. He's waiting for his team to play catch up here, essentially. Otherwise, he's sat there droning the team in, watching for jump outs, you name it. In general, just being the player that wants to wait and come in for the rappel when the site execute happens. That's exactly what FaZe did last time around. Now for FaZe, they did clock at about this point previously. Okay, guys, ignore it. Let's get over towards Geisha instead and make that work. Souls managing to find Spoit after that initial kill came through. And the E1D rings out as Kanto finds a second in the round. Starting to warm into this one a little bit more, as we've seen across so many of these rounds. That 5-1 half looking very possible.
Every time there is a FaZe kill, it feels like there is a Rogue kill not far behind. Leveling out at 3 versus 3 now, but only 1 minute left on the clock. Last time around, it was down to Astro to just try and run into site single-handedly and get the diffuser down, and it looks like it could be the case again as Cryan manages to find a kill onto Souls. That gives him the freedom to rotate underneath and start working his way back to site. At this point, Rogue, they've pretty much given up the top floor. 45 seconds left to go. They don't need to worry about it. They've got the man advantage. They've got the kills as Kanto and Cryan close out the round at
Do you believe in magic, Tim? Because I think it's about time we all start believing. 5-1 Rogue sits out 2 more rounds. They move on to not just match point, not even just series point, but tournament point as well. Championship points in. That's how much closer they're getting. Well, map point.
Championship map.
Championship map. That sounds more boring.
In the next one.
Championship map points.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
No.
Whatever.
You're confusing me nowadays.
You know what I mean, though. Just banked to get through after that point. Again, another really solid round, though. For FaZe, I feel gave themselves a little too much to do in that round. They started out on the far east side, out towards Exhibition, tried to tweak their way across, didn't really rotate players over to go in through Geisha. They did send 1 player in, but not quite enough of them. And Astro has sat there really for 2 minutes, doing literally nothing. He was kind of stuck waiting for his team. Eventually repelled him through Black, but at that point, there was this wonderful crossfire set up by the Rogue players, 1 inside a restaurant, 1 behind the bar, and as soon as he stepped forward, he was a goner. End of story. So FaZe could have been a bit more focused, I feel, in that first half. We'll see how they do in terms of map control here on the defense, as Rogue now have got to show what they can do on the attacking side.
Keep an eye on Cyber. He's bringing along the Vigil. It's going to make him very difficult to pin down. I would expect to see him up on the top floor over maybe Office Exhibition, roaming around, making himself difficult to pin down. That's sort of the area that he's heading at the minute. Yep, he takes down a drone as he passes, I think, and then just heads himself up towards reception. So that's going to be a big job for Rogue to clear out, because they're going to know that he's present. They're going to have the, the signal interference on the drones that is going to tell them that there's a Vigil over there, but they're going to have to largely go in and face check to find him. How quickly can they do that?
Dealing with him, it's the Valkyrie, it's anyone who might be out about the map roaming, and given the lineup from FaZe, you see him potentially the Melusi, the Vigil, and the Valk all getting busy around the map. Not forgetting that we had Cryin doing much the same in the first half on the Frost, so you may even see Cameraman doing the same as well. It's Bullet out towards Bathroom, at least on the ground floor here. So a lot of map control being exerted by FaZe, and Rogue here have got that opportunity to say, right, we found someone. They're overextended. They're not too close to the rest of their team. Let's get the pinch in. Get nades flying in, for example. And right now they're feeling that out, but 60 seconds has passed, and Leon's the first to go down on that DKB.
Cyber going to kick things off, as I suggested, on the Vigil, making a nuisance of himself. There's mute jammers up there on the top floor along with him. It makes it extremely oppressive for the attackers trying to go in. Cameraman, he manages to find Deepek, and Rogue, they are finding that FaZe are a different beast on the defense of Skyscraper, as they are cut down left, right and center. Kanto, he's the only one remaining inside the site. He's battling as hard as he can, but that is going to be a flawless round for a FaZe to kick off the defense. And
this is why I say, Tim, wait until you see the second half. You just don't know what to expect. Teams can look night and day once they switch sides. Getting on a certain operator, holding a certain gun that you're just far more confident with can really turn things around. Do I still believe Rogue can pull this back on the attack? I absolutely do, but it might take a couple of rounds for FaZe to knock the wind out of them, a tactical timeout to come through, then you'll see Rogue bounce back.
That's the big question now, is when does the resilience and perseverance that we've seen from Rogue kick in? Does it kick in? Because there are going to be wins for FaZe here. This is not going to finish 7-2. I will almost guarantee you that. There are going to be more defensive wins for this FaZe side. I mean, they've just run through Kitchen and Barbecue there in rapid time with a flawless round. It was too easy for them. Rogue, the first focus for them, I think, needs to be getting entry kills. They need a round where they're 5 versus 3, and they can just swamp site. They can make FaZe's life uncomfortable, grab a round and put themselves on match point. If they can get in there, get in the map, get the first kill or 2, it is going to be big for them.
FaZe again, making that real smart call with the extension out around the map as well. Sat behind shields, kind of being willing to take these 1v1s, but I think we saw from Deepek's initial vault into Kitchen, they didn't know there was a player inside a pantry. You got a lot of time to get on the drones, boys. Don't feel you got to rush these things, as we've said several times over. This round, I'm looking in towards the Ying, though, of Deepek. We always see the Ying coming in when teams just want to hit site hard. Candelas come out, smokes go down, same from the Thermite as well. But I think, curiously here, Tim, they've actually left half of the double wall soft for this Exhibition defense, just to give them something to worry about. And oh, Cyber on a run out. Sure, they find the nade back on the other side, but that's going to sting.
I absolutely love watching Cyber on this disruptive role on defense. It was Vigil last round, it's Oryx this round. He has been teasing that doorway for 35 seconds, but just keeps going and going and going until he gets what he knows is there for him to take. removes Deepek, but not only does he remove Deepek, he removes the Yingdes. The Candelas are gone. That is the backbone of this attack. That is the strategy. That is the execute. Removed.
They still have smokes to play behind, but again, with the wall being left half soft at this point, you're just running the risk of potentially C4s come flying in, impacts from Astro. It might be a bit harder to get that double wall than you think. I spoke about the vertical play before from Rogue as well. You can see all these nades being tossed skyward. They've gone through 4 of the 6 so far, still 2 more to go. Trying to find what they can, but there is no one to be found on site. FaZe playing this very smartly. They know the kind of style of play that Rogue likes to employ, and it does lean very heavily into those vertical explosives on both attack and defense.
Not managing to find any damage onto any of the FaZe defenders at the minute. Bullet is looking underneath the Dragon. Manages to cut down Crying in a trade as he finds Cameraman. 3 versus 3 now, and FaZe, they'll be quite happy with this attrition at the minute because the attackers' options become more and more limited as things go on. Every operator that dies just removes another angle, another option, another piece of utility. And Cyber, he's the one to watch for me. He's still teasing around those runouts. He's still keeping himself off the radar to be disruptive as much as he can.
This is where some drone play from Rogue, I think taking 10-15 seconds to just figure out what's going on here would be smart, because FaZe have got themselves boxed in to a small triangle. With these 3 players still able to come pushing in, they should know that it's pretty safe to get here, and Leon finds one for free. They're pushing in, they've got the decoy leading in first, but Astro finds Leon anyway. In comes the second man, but does he see the side angle? No, he does not. They're hunting down the last man on site itself, but Bullet is playing below with a C4. He could play spoiler here. Astro finds one, and Spoit is down. Can juice himself back up, I think, surely. No, he cannot. It was on cooldown. FaZe find the close.
Well defended from FaZe at the end of the round there as Leon takes out Cyber. You start thinking that that could be the entrance that Rogue need. If he hits his shots onto Astro, that round goes to Rogue. But Leon just unable to finish the man at long range into reception. It came down to mechanical skill on that one, and FaZe were the winners and put themselves now 3-5, and they are on the comeback trail.
I'll keep on pulling back to that point, Tim. It's why I'll never get too excited about a 5-1. It can just be so easy for the other team to flip things back on its head. Rogue looking somewhat competitive, especially in that last round when it came down to a 2 versus 2. It was close, but FaZe still play that close a little bit better. Rogue, I really felt, should have paused for 10, 15, 20 seconds more and just sat on the drones. They still had 3 out on the field and 2 in back pocket. That's kind of utility that should be out on the map there, feeding you information even on a flank watch, if not inside of the site itself. But Rogue running their own chance here, taking their own risk in running the Sens, an operator that we haven't seen all that much. We saw it a little bit back on the last, well, not the last map now, it was 2 maps ago. Time's flying, Tim. Back on border. They did employ it. I mean, they tried it in the first round of this map. It didn't work out. FaZe dropped away from it. Deepek best have a good use case.
Tea and Karaoke will be the site for round 9. There's an interesting ADS setup on Tea Room door. All 3 stacked up there, so obviously expecting a push coming through there, whether they know that it will come from the Sense or whether they're just looking to hold off the flashes, the nades, the potential smoke canisters. There's none on board, but the defenders don't necessarily know that at this stage. They're just wanting to burn as much throwable as they can on the Black Stairs door. And right now there's a lot of droning going on for Rogue.
And a lot of noise for Rogue still, Tim. It's 5-3, it's not like it's match point or...
This crowd has been absolutely relentless in their support of the EU team.
Unsurprisingly. Here we go. Rogue starting to square themselves up around Restaurant. 3 players converging with 1 on the rappel. We also got 1 set outside the double door down towards Pantry.
This is without a doubt one of the loudest audiences that I have ever cast in front, and we're not even at the meat yet, Des. There is more to come from them, I am absolutely certain. 1 minute 10 we are into the round. Rogue are still slowly making progress across that bottom floor, making sure that it's clear, looking for any challenge they can take. Souls is holding a tight angle down behind the bar there, doesn't manage to find any shots onto Kanto, but at least sends a warning that every inch of this map is going to be challenged.
Slower start. Similar thing from Rogue that we saw from FaZe in the first half, just kind of still deciding what it is exactly they want to be getting on with. Taking things slow, not looking to play into the hands of the defenders who are more than happy to sit mobile and pick you up as you try and move around. Cyber dancing around this barricade as well, just daring someone to step in through display. Spoit's got the right idea, narrowly misses his head there as he crouches down behind the table. And it's Cyber the first one to go down as Leon pinches in with him as well. Souls hits the deck. It's a big 2K start for Rogue. Another 5v3, but can they convert the round? That's the question. Astro saying no to that.
Just going to be moving across, getting himself back into sight. And FaZe just trying to hold on to what they've got here. It's 3 versus 4. They don't want to give up any more control, particularly of the site itself. It could lead to a diffuser going down. Leon well aware that Astro might go for that jump out, takes down his man. And this could be the round of advantage that Rogue needed. 4v2. They are pushing towards the final 30.
The drones, Tim, is what I've got to see. They're not droning in. They're not taking 10, 15 seconds to figure it out. They've found the one they need. There's just cameraman left standing. He's got 3 smokes in back pocket at this point, Tim. Diffuser recovered. Does he see the man come charging past? This could really sting, but Ryan hits the reverse. They move up to match point and can find themselves going up 2-1 with just one more round.
The danger for FaZe here is they now need to find 3 rounds back-to-back with absolutely no mistakes, no errors, because you just know that the way Rogue are playing, they will punish them if they are made. It is 6-3 to Rogue. They managed to get that one attacking round that they needed to put them on match point, and they're going to be moving to attack onto Barbecue and Kitchen.
The beauty for Rogue here as well is they can afford to lose a couple of these attacks. They know that FaZe have got to rotate through every defensive site here to make this work. You've only got to make one of those 3 work out for you, and this may not be a terrible time to try something a little bit crazy. We've seen Deepek on the Amaro earlier on, currently considering it as well, having swapped away from the Buck. And what I loved him, I know there's been tons of pressure piled onto players like Spoit, the young, new, up-and-coming gunner who has really shone throughout Stage 2 and the group stage of this major, even through some of the playoff games. He's having a quiet day today, but it's about the team play. When he dies, there is a trade waiting for him. But lots of eyes are turning out towards players like Deepek, Leon, crying. Leon especially knows the pain that he's been through at several events in the past. 4 times he has been to an S-tier event where they have finished in the semi-finals. They have been sent out. A final wasn't even in the conversation. But here he's heading towards a win on his birthday with Meepy, a player/coach that has been with him from start through to finish at this point as well. Can't even imagine how much a win like this would mean to them.
That's it. It's just going to take them into the stratosphere, isn't it? You know, the response to that is going to be absolutely unbelievable. Leon looking to get aggressive here onto that black stairs door. We've seen this method of pushing this area so many times. You plant the first toss of shield, you move in behind it, you plant the second, and you force them out of the corridor, out of Karaoke Tea, and it is a real direct route to trying to get yourself into Geisha and get that vertical control.
I think the game plan here will be to get one up here inside of the Karaoke Tea hallway. It stops anyone playing across the top. I mean, Cyber's just stepped across and absolutely slammed crying, but he's the kind of guy you're looking to control by having an Ossa shield watching all the way down. No one can come up red, for example, without being shot out from behind the shield. Coming up black will be hard as there'll be a flank drone there, but it's about the vertical control. 2 quick kills for FaZe to start things off. Again, not surprised to see this. I do think we'll rotate through a couple of sites before we do see Rogue bounce back in, but they're 2 execute-based operators here. The Ossa and the Amaru, still the ones only left alive.
You can absolutely guarantee that there is going to be a twist in the tail here for FaZe. They are going to fight back tooth and nail, and that's exactly what we're seeing at the minute. Leon manages to get himself 1, leaving us now in a 4v2. There's plenty of time for Rogue here. They don't need to worry on that front, but they do need to start finding some kills. But I tell you what, Des, if they find the next and it's 2 versus 3, then that starts looking a little bit different. Leon sees his man. He gets the spray down.
There's surely no way. There is just no way they pull this back from a down in a 2 versus 5 situation. Deepek's on one side, he looks away from his man, he's holding, but he misses, and Deepek finds it! They're back in a 2v2, Tim. They've got no shields left to play with, but they've got smokes, they've got flashes. Bullet is hoping to play the vertical angle from above, but I don't know if he'll be able to find it. Astro is in a similar spot. They're relying so much on being able to deny from above that it all comes down to this, and they want to fight them, but they both run into their bullets, and they get shut down. Electrified out. It's interesting how for some teams when playing on this site, what they'll actually do is that single wall you see going between Geisha and between Drum gets left soft. They'll open up a rotate between it, especially APAC teams you see doing this, as it gives you yet another angle to be able to challenge the defenders with when they, or the attackers, sorry, when they come pushing in through terrace. This time around though, it's fully locked down. They're really trying.
Cyber just roaming around on the underneath. We've seen Cyber been able to really cause a problem.
I feel like I've gone to a footy game.
Cyber's been able to really cause a problem, a nuisance, a disruption when he's been out on the roam so far. FaZe really need it now more than ever. They need Cyber to get that big 2K at the beginning of the round, really power them into it. Him and Astro, 9 kills apiece, leading the line for FaZe right now.
Took a bit of time, but I don't want to hear anyone talking smack about EU crowds and their chance anymore. First couple of days, all right, it was patchy, it was a bit ropey, but day 3, we've warmed into it more than ready. I think we've got a few FaZe fans above us sitting on a balcony.
I think they might be.
And that's where we're having a little bit of the chanting directed at. Chanting puts it nice and neutrally, and we'll leave it at that. 60 seconds into the round. But now at least Rogue have got themselves squared up on the east side of the map, trying to sweep their way across towards the west. A very standard defense on this map for the defenders to hold drum and also look to hold Shrine towards the top side. There's no one actually actively playing drum at this point. They are 2 of them playing on the downstairs, so it's a little bit alternative.
Spike's going to take half health damage there as he tries to get himself established inside. Astro taking a little bit as well. Kanto having a tickle. Out comes the Nitro though, and that's more than a tickle, Des. He gets absolutely decimated by it, and that's going to leave us now in a 5 versus 4 for FaZe, as once again they start looking with a solid start to their defense.
They do, yeah. Once again, that big entry coming in that they were looking for. Nades taken offline, for example. There was only one in the back pocket of Kanto still on side, so not quite the end of the world, but you lose that ARX, the biggest team on the biggest gun on this team, alongside the LMG coming out of Cryin. A couple of interesting changes as well, with Spoit going across to the IQ here, handing that finger off to Cryin and saying, look, maybe my game ain't as strong as it's been previously. Let's put me on some more utility-based operators and let you boys that are getting the kills start to shine.
5 versus 3 as Souls manages to find Leon, and FaZe are fighting back fantastically here, Des. They're keeping themselves mobile around the map. They're making Rogue fight over every single inch, and those fights are being lost right now. Souls continue to hold inside of sight. Cameraman finding Cryin, and this is starting to fall apart. They've got every angle covered from inside of sight as FaZe are just locking out round number 11.
It's a really good flank coming out from Cyber as well, dancing around downstairs, but not coming up too soon. Just simply did not give the player playing on red stairs, the chance to be able to react. He's done this all tournament long to several teams. We saw it in the group stage against G2. His flank play is unmatched. Fantastic stuff out of FaZe, who take a flawless round. Rogue are now out of their 3 lives. This is their last chance to close it out in regulation. Otherwise, Tim, we get yet another overtime.
I mean, what would a best of 5 that we cast be without at least 2 or 3 overtimes thrown in there?
Wouldn't really be a best of 5
Wouldn't really be a best of 5 at all, would it? Would we even be casting at all? Once again, the crowd getting behind Rogue here, trying to just buoy them up, give them the spirit that they need to be able to get that. Thank you, Des, for that.
You're welcome.
That's a problem now that Des has realised that one of the crowd cams is in fact the camera right in front of us.
That I have this power. It is. It's a multi-use camera. It swivels on the spot. It can sometimes look at us. It can look at the audience. It's great.
You can stick your head in front of it, apparently.
Yes, I can, Tim. Yes, I can. Here we go then. Exhibition and office of what could be, yet again, last round here for Rogue to hold on. They've got to find simply one attack, Tim, just one attack. But FaZe are making it so difficult for them. 3 C4s brought along to the party. We've got the mirror on side as well, one of them already being deployed inside of site itself, looking down towards the double wall. I always reference what we saw one team in EUL do. I want to say that it was secret, and in fact, we may be seeing it now. He's actually having a mirror window on the downstairs. Reason for this being that inside of that coat check room itself, just outside the windows where attackers can stand and chuck a nade skyward, and it clears out any electricity or any kind of jamming device that is placed on the wall itself. That's exactly why you're seeing Spoit squaring up there now.
Cameraman is getting the second mirror, thinking about getting the second mirror deployed. I'm just going to reposition a little bit. He's having a very good think about it. He's going to be going in towards terrace potentially. So looking to again feed information. Anybody coming in from drum, anybody looking to get aggressive there. First nade is going to be caught by the Wamai gadget. Second goes out.
Too soon.
Too soon.
Overcooked. Great game.
That's going to make that reception wall potentially difficult to open up. We'll see as the round progresses as to whether the denial did survive or not, but I think it likely was the case. The nade exploding just as it got to the window frame. So, as we say, probably a little bit too low. Thank you very much. We're going to have a little look over there. No, they've managed to get the wall open. So, good start there, but the keeper barricades are still going to burn more time.
Ah, that was Hap. Hap! Stop it. I tell you what, he's not even casting, you can still hear his voice, even through the headset.
Nothing can stop our Hap.
The unstoppable Hap.
Not when it comes to Benelux and we've got DPEC in the server, so...
Absolutely not. But I'm sure that's a good moment you'll see on Twitter later on all the same. The site right now looking a bit like Swiss cheese, Tim. All these floors have been broken apart inside of actual office itself. Exhibition still looking relatively intact. The vertical nades from Rogue have been exhausted. They have used all 6 and found nothing outside of the tiniest bit of chip damage on towards cameraman.
FaZe are pretty comfortable at the minute. There's exactly that. There's 1 minute left to go. Not really been disrupted inside a site. They're all, as you can see, just stood holding angles. Now then, that's going to be the mirror window taken out by Leon. That's going to give them potentially a little bit of something, but Cyber takes something back as he finds a headshot on to Spike. But beautiful from Leon, punishing them for opening the mirror window.
Still, what more can they do? Cyber's down to about half HP, but his camera, oh, it's 3, just fall out of nowhere. We'll go into overtime, Tim, yet again.
We really are, Des. It is going to be an extra 3 rounds here on Skyscraper. And Rogue, I won't say have crumbled because they haven't, but they started so well with the 5-1 half. They just couldn't better FaZe when it came to that defensive side.
I'll scream it until I'm blue in the face, Tim. Never judge a game fully by what you see in the first half. You have to see how the team that are winning are playing once they get onto the other side of the map. And this serves as a wonderful example. 5-1 halves either way. Couldn't get too ahead of ourselves. The only real solace that Rogue have got here is they are on the defense here in overtime. That is a massive advantage given how defense has gone. We've only had 2 attacking rounds win.
We're getting some chance really going for FaZe from up above us, and I'm starting to wonder if it's potentially some of the other LATAM players that are in here as well, that because they're always very supportive of each other. If you think all the way back to RGE Pit Des, if you remember when we were out in Croatia, and Liquid were in the final, MIBR and everybody else were down there, and they were absolutely screaming for them.
Absolutely, just so far I'm not too sure that they used to be screamed, your shit's back at them. Possibly not. They've enjoyed it far too much. Here we go then, let's see how this one shapes up. FaZe on the attacking side, we'll see where they spawn and exactly what the game plan is. A couple of them out towards the northwest here on their start into the building. And Crying, looking slightly the wrong way, buddy. No one on the south spawn this time around, but they are off towards your right-hand side. A couple more spawning up towards the northeast side, and then no doubt a couple down towards vents as well for 5 players, of course, all in. I think I said a couple 3 times there, Tim, which would mean 6. Teams don't have 6 players. Despite it being
not the last time I checked. Not the last time I checked. Rogue are starting on the defense, Des. We can't skim over that. We can't avoid that. They went 5-1 on the defensive half, as did FaZe. This has been extremely defender-sided. 10 out of 12 rounds have gone in that direction so far. This is a big advantage for Rogue and a big opportunity for them to get that second map and to go 2-1 overall in the series before heading into map 4, which is Bank. Now then, Leon, he's looking to get aggressive on the reception wall. Takes down the drone that is there, waiting for the potential of anybody peeking ahead around there, but there's not going to be anybody moving in that direction. Instead, they're going round to the terrace door.
That slow and steady wins the race, it feels, to the attackers at points, but arguably a bit too slow throughout several of these rounds. So both teams on their attacks, we said, we get to that halfway mark in the round, and it feels like they're still trying to decide exactly what it is that needs to be done. The drone's doing the work for them, but no one really taking the ground. They're then droned out because the defenders are playing so spread. And even for Rogue here, you've got 1 sat down in Barbecue, 1 in Terrace, 1 in Shrine, 2 in site itself. And apparently this crowd absolutely love bandit tricks, Tim.
And that is a huge bandit trick because that is the second exothermic gone, meaning that that double wall is staying closed.
This is just like when you're attacking into Clubhouse in towards Cash and CC. You need to have nades or Zofia impacts, whatever it might be, coming onto that wall at the same time you're trying to get it open, else they will just trick like that. Bullet goes down. Rogue on that defensive side looking more empowered here as Leon is on 16 kills, Tim.
Going absolutely wild at the minute. Maybe he's trying to find his age in kills today, but...
How old is he?
I don't 100% know. We'll double check in the break.
23.
23, there you go, Leon. But
he's not far off.
It was beautiful play because I just feel like they baited Bullet into that situation. There was a player just standing still, bottom of Black Stairs, had been spotted out. Leon manages to get a second headshot. And a third onto cameraman. Astro shuts him down eventually, but the damage is done.
Now can they win the 4v2, Tim? I keep on stressing about these 4v2s. Spoit, unknown, unseen, whips his shots. What is going on? Gets the shotgun blast, sees one more inside a terrace. Cyber's going to try and push his way through. C4 onto the wall, in his steps, but he ends down the shotgun. Spoit with a big 2K, Leon a 3, moves Rogue up to map points.
Advantage Rogue once again, and remember, this is overtime, so the sides will switch every single time. It's going to be FaZe Clan on the defense next of all, so it wouldn't surprise me to see them taking us to that final round, but then Rogue will have the advantage of being on defense. They've got tea and karaoke available if it comes to round 15.
If it comes there is the big one, Tim. We go to that barbecue and kitchen site once more, where we saw FaZe start out their defensive half. I'm just looking at it again and just thinking for Rogue, it was a bit scattered. You had Deepek vaulting in through kitchen window while someone tried to push in through front door, and it was all too easy for cameraman and the Frost to pick up one of those and then assist in the second kill that came in once they had a player step across from the reception desk to take that spray down. I believe that round was also a flawless round, if I recall rightly, Tim, in round 7. FaZe looking relatively unflappable on this site.
Round 7 was indeed a flawless round, Des. You're absolutely right. Like you say, they were really dominant, to be fair with FaZe. There was just absolutely nothing Rogue could do. Every challenge they made, they tried to press about 3 different angles, and it just didn't work out for them. Ultimately, came down to FaZe just winning the gunfights. Now then, Rogue, they're going to be again looking for those kills on the top floor. It's going to be about getting that lockdown. Last time as well, the second time that they attacked onto kitchen back in round 10, it was the 2v2. It was up on the top floor. You know that's where FaZe are going to make the last stand.
I'm not sure what it is we're doing this time, Tim.
It just sounds like general booing this time.
I don't think it was a boo, because it was kind of like jumping up every now and then.
Oh, okay. Oh, I don't know then.
You guys will have to do it again at some point so I can understand what the hell you were saying. We'll get... Soothe! Ah, that's the one. There we go.
There we go.
We haven't got Mowgli to run and do the whole jump, though, like he was doing throughout all the group stage.
Right then, Cryan, he's getting himself onto the rappel of karaoke again. What they're trying to do here, Rogue, is cut off those rotations, cut off the movement for the defenders, make it difficult for them to be able to play on the top floor. Terrace window open, karaoke window open. It just means they need to check every time they move in anywhere. Spoit on the IQ, he's going to start that push across. He's just pinging out the gadgetry for the time being, and then he's going to go on the hunt.
Making sure the team is safe as well on the step through. No Nomad being picked up here, a double stack.
That's pretty smart, because the first one has been left purposefully visible.
If that catches someone, I will buy Spoit a steak dinner. I'll take him out.
We've got it on stream.
There's a lovely steak restaurant on our hotel that I'm sure I'd absolutely love to go to. The most expensive steak on there is like 106 euros or something ludicrous. And I have no doubt it'll rinse me for all I'm worth, bless his soul. I doubt it works. It'll probably get impacted out, or they'll shoot it out and march their way through. But if it does, whew.
They've made good progress here of Rogue. They've got themselves across the top floor. They've got themselves across the top floor to tea and karaoke. And they've actually been able to force FaZe away. You can see there's no FaZe players up on the top floor now. They're just being careful here. I'm obviously not completely aware of every corner, every nook and cranny, but the clearance continues. And whilst they've been pushed back down to that bottom floor, this could get a little bit uncomfortable for FaZe. But Rogue, they need to make sure they keep moving. There's only a minute remaining.
Someone's moving their way towards house here as well. Potentially looking to go up the stairs. If they move the way up, then this could be a real dangerous spot. There's 2 of them lurking around it. Is any of them going to step up? I really want someone to go up the stairs now, please. Let's put this to bed. On the step 4, they've already been cleared out. That is so disappointing. I'm so disappointed.
We had a new building, we had everything, and they were already gone. 3 versus 2 as kills rain in, though. Let's not forget that. Spoit manages to find souls. 2v2 leveled out, 23 seconds left to go. Cryan pushing in towards site. Spoit is in support, but once again, FaZe, they've got themselves off in the map. They know that the diffuser's down. Cryan is going to be able to just manage to grab a hold of that. He's going to push into site, but the wall is soft, and this is the problem as Astro pushes pushes in. He could do some real damage and does. Gets the only kill he really needs. It forces Cryin to put the diffuser down, and that's going to be an easy finish for Bullet as he moves in, surely, to find the last man. FaZe, they lock it up. They take us to 7-0, and Des, we're going all the way to 15.
Again. Just throw that on the end of that one. It's one of those I look at and I'm just thinking, FaZe are playing it so smart on the defensive side. Both teams have, to be fully